no doubt the major talking point today. We heard Fabrizio talk about it a moment ago, and it's Liverpool, their deadline day chase for a centre-back. We'll talk Ben Davies in a moment, but developments today on a defender from the Bundesliga. What do we know about this potential arrival of Ozan Kabak?
It's funny, isn't it? It's such a change of tone up on Merseyside, change of tact, because the whole month, obviously, we've been on these transfer talk shows and saying that, look, Liverpool, they don't want to go down the route of a short-term fix. And now suddenly they might have two centre-backs arriving on deadline day. You can see the pictures here of Ozan Kabak, and this is him arriving at Schalke's medical centre. So make of that what you will. But we understand Liverpool are trying to get a deal done for the Schalke defender. Talks ongoing about a loan plus an option to buy. The loan fee would be in the region of £2.5 million. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So Schalke, basically, they don't want to let him go until they've got another replacement in. And the key thing here, their deadline in Germany is 5 p.m. our time. Now, we understand, news coming into us in the last sort of 10 minutes, is that his replacement has been identified. And Sky in Germany saying Shkodran Mustafi, the Arsenal centre-back, is that replacement. Now, look, he's, of course, barely featured. His last appearance for Arsenal on Boxing Day. Got 6 months left on his deal at Arsenal, and Sky in Germany reporting that the deal under discussion is a 6-month permanent deal, so a short-term fix. But can it be sorted in time? Could be an exciting deadline day.
I think the question then, it's a logical link to make. We're talking about Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Arsenal maybe not wanting to let him go on loan to Leicester as a direct rival. Would Arsenal be indirectly helping Liverpool if they allow Shkodran Mustafi to go to Schalke and then Ozan Kabak to go to Liverpool?
Yes, but a priority for Arsenal has been to clear the deadwood, hasn't it? We've seen with the likes of Sokratis and Ozil going out, and Mustafi's on that list. So in order to, they don't want to pay him for another 6 months if they're barely going to play him. So I think that probably takes priority over potentially helping indirectly a Premier League rival. Interesting we're talking about Kabak because he's been linked with Liverpool for the last year, really, isn't he? And he's highly rated enough for Schalke to spend, what, £13 million on him? He's got all this potential. Scouts seem to love him, but you look at the number of games he's won, and it's not a lot. He's played at some bad football teams. He was at Stuttgart. They got relegated when he broke into the team as a teenager. He's been at Schalke. They've won just once this season. He's been part of a defence that's conceded 49 goals in this Bundesliga. They went 30 games without a win, 359 days without a Bundesliga win. He played in 14 of the 19 games. And Dave, why was he suspended for 5 of those games? Well,
it was an unfortunate spitting incident where he was banned for 5 games, wasn't he? He did tweet after the incident saying, it was not my intention, it was an accident, I didn't aim at him. The TV angle gives a deceptive view of the incident. So he was banned for 5 games, which is why he has missed those 5 games. It's an interesting one, isn't it? When good players play for poor teams. It reminds me of Ibrahim Sangare at Toulouse, where he was a good player playing in a poor team. They got relegated. He was scouted extensively. A lot of Premier League teams didn't decide to take a punt on him, but he's undoubtedly a quality player. Ozan Kabak is playing in the stats would suggest a poor Schalke side, but Liverpool have attracted his attention.
Yeah, and he's 6'1". But he's fantastic in the air. He's good with the ball at his feet, but also crucially, I think, in the way Liverpool play, he's not afraid to get the ball forward quickly, so he can do a bit of both. And he doesn't mind bringing the ball out from the back. So Liverpool, then we're going to say the word short-term fix a lot today for what Liverpool are after, but obviously he's a long-term prospect. They know can get game time right now within that Liverpool setup, which I think is quite interesting.
And for Liverpool, looking at their transfer strategy, they have known, obviously, that Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk are going to be out for a long time. They will have planned for this window. And the question was, would they bring forward one of their potential summer targets to this January window? You wonder whether Ozan Kabak would fit the bill as one of their later targets, but are now trying to bring forward to this window. Another one that they're looking at, Emma, is Ben Davies. And Anton, just tell us where we are with Ben Davies at the moment.
Yeah, just briefly, he's having a medical at Liverpool today ahead of a £2 million move. The player's out of contract in the summer. He was close to move to Celtic, but Liverpool have nipped in at the last minute, seemingly.
But what a story this is, by the way. An absolute dream move for the player. We'll say as well, reportedly, he's been on Liverpool's radar for some time now. When he broke into that Preston team, 2017-18 season, has attracted interest from the Bundesliga. A lot of us probably remember seeing him play against Manchester City in the League Cup last season. Very impressive then. And it's more about him ticking these three boxes. So you mentioned Liverpool's strategy there, but look at the value. £2 million, you said, in the last 6 months of his contract. So that's really why he's available for such a low price. Experience as well, a massive tick there. 250 senior appearances under his belt. And also skill set, another tick. Because the main thing that stands out when you watch him play is that his ability on the ball. Also, over the last 24 hours, he's been talked about a lot. And just looking at what people close to the player say, people that have coached him or played with him, saying he's someone who has a real keenness and eagerness to learn. He's willing to learn, basically. So people also saying that they're quite surprised it hasn't been snapped up already by a top club.
Well, that's what
it's a deserved move.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because it's no surprise that Ben Davies is available. We all know he's out of contract at the end of the season. So I'm not saying Ben Davies won't go on to have a very good Premier League career, but my point is he's been available all month, effectively. And all the Premier League clubs have been looking at him. Not one's come in for him. And we all know there are a few clubs with defensive issues. But it's interesting to see Liverpool have stepped up. Why now is the big question for Liverpool, isn't it? Why not earlier in the month, which we talked about
the
at
injuries
length?
have intensified yet again, though, haven't they?
Exactly. But
it seems like Joel Matip's injury was the tipping point for
and
Liverpool
then
in this
even
window.
Fabinho, someone who had been the makeshift centre-back as well.